Okay, so we downloaded Violet UML editor. The next thing to do is that we can essentially start it from the command line, right? So if we say cmd, right, command line starts. Let me actually go to change the properties here to something more readable. Okay, and I'll switch to where I am trying to use this. So this is on F drive, and we can say CD, CD something like that. So now if I locate my Java executable on my system, I can basically use a command to make jar file runnable. Jar file is Java archive. So I'll just go to the expected place would be under program files, under Java. And I have the JDK installed here. So if I go to bin, so here's my java.exe. So if you press, if you're using Windows Vista 7 or 8, you can press Shift key down and then right click, and the menu changes, the context sensitive menu changes. And the useful one is the copy as path. So I can just paste this in, copy it as path, and say .jar, okay, refer to java.exe inside the JDK, then say jar, and then point to my jar file, which was somewhere here. So again, I can press Shift down and get the whole path to the file, copy as path. That would be one of the possibilities. And so if I just say paste and do this, so hopefully it will run. So again, the command to execute this is kind of a long command that says, let me just make sure that I have the quick editor mode allowed, so I can make some selections. So this Java.exe allows you to, first of all, package your Java applications as jar files, right? It's basically an archive, very similar to zip file archive, which contains compiled classes. And you can use the jar switch on the command line and say, here's my jar file. Go ahead, unpack it instantly, and find the main class there and start using it. Like make a call, make this program runnable. So this is what a lot of desktop style Java applications are distributed as. And so we have this Violet UML editor. So let's get right to it. Let me also close any of the applications that I do not need. I do not need some of these extra windows, so I can keep track of what I do here on the command line. I don't know if I need Chrome or this so far, so we'll just open them if we have to. So here it is. We're going to start with a brand new class diagram. And so far what I have is that, and you probably are well familiar with aspects of UML already. So what I'll do here is that I will say, okay, I have a shape class, right? So I'll say abstract shape, right? Just to know that a shape is abstract class. And what I have a couple of classes named a circle, right? Circle, which includes private radius, right? And it includes the constructor, right? So we can, a lot of people just say it like this, constructor, right? It's an acceptable notation. And then, of course, we can specify parentheses and the type of parameters that are accepted. We use radius as a parameter, and its type is float. Okay? And constructors do not return anything, so we don't have to bother with anything else. The next line should say that operations, and constructor is public, so we'll just say plus to make it look like a reasonable public method available. Get area really doesn't take any parameters. Sometimes people say void, especially C programmers like to say something like that, but it's not required, so we can just skip empty parentheses. And so this one really doesn't return anything back, so we can even abbreviate it just like this. Or actually, no, I'm sorry, this one does return float, right? So recall that UML notation is a little bit backwards compared to many programming language notations for method descriptions or method signatures. So UML prefers to give a lot of attention to the name of the method first. Get area is like number one on this line, and then there is no parameters, and it returns a float. And then, of course, we also have get perimeter, but that's just we didn't use it. But I'm suspecting that it's a very simple. Very similar to what get area does. So if we start using it, that would work as well. So here's the definition of our circle, and of course we also have the rectangle. Let me first define it. A rectangle. Okay, a rectangle. And of course it uses private. By the way, radius I could provide here as well, that the data type is float. Essentially, because we're learning UML, we sort of say let's use all these possible UML attributes around our data and operations. So in the rectangle situation, we'll say height, which is a float, and the width, which is another float, right? And we again have public constructor, and which takes a couple of parameters again, height, which is a float, comma, width, which is another float. And then we have very similar to here. I will just steal it from here, copy and paste. Okay, so this is another object that we have. Let me switch to the selection mode. And so to demonstrate the relationship between those classes, of course you already know there is this inherits from type of relationship, which is the official name in UML is generalization relationship. And so you basically point from the subclass to the superclass, which kind of shapes itself immediately, and also from another subclass to the superclass. Oh, I just got this application hinting. Interesting. I don't know what it's doing. Interesting. Let me save this first.